Good luck.
All right. So, our problem was chapter 5, problem 7. The problem says suppose your expectations regarding stock price are as follows. It lists a graph with a bunch of numbers on it, and it says use equations 5.11 and 5.12 to compute the mean standard deviation of the HPR stocks. So for the mean, we use this equation here. So what you do is you take the 0.35 probability, you multiply it by the HPR percentage, then you add, and you do that for each subsequent probability and HPR. You come out with a mean of 0.1435 or 14%. You also go with the standard deviation equation, which is 5.12. Basically do the same thing. Is you have the probability times the HPR, but then you square your mean percentage from the problem before in each one to come up with a standard deviation of, after it being square root of 25.52%.
So it's basically just a weighted average. Who has 7-1? Yep. Yeah, because the problems are different because that's the 10th edition. I mean, that's the 11th, this is the 10th edition solution. That's why I was having him take a look at it. Do you have the 10th edition? Yeah, you got the 10th edition.
Would you rather have?
I'd rather have the 10th. I picked the 10th over the 11th so it's cheaper.
Oh, the school was giving us the top with that.
Yeah, the school was giving them.
Yeah, that's what I heard.
And then like $200.
Is that going to be a problem? I mean, you can even rent it for $40.
Yeah. I think renting this one though is like stupid on the school website. It was
Oh,
like,
yeah.
It was like $120.
No. That's why I used the 10th because it's cheaper.
All right. Yeah.
Still take it back.
Okay.
I did that last year.
Okay. And I'll go talk to them and see if I can get them to get the 10th, but I would just rent it. The cheaper version. Sorry about that.
I'm just see where I'm teasing.
Yeah.
Something with
If the structure's the same thing,
evaluation. So my 9,000, 10,000, 20,000 is just the variance in the market added together to get the total market value, right?
yeah, you're doing the, yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Is there a similar problem
Yeah, it's kind of fun.
in the 10th version? Go ahead.
Alright, so we're doing number 7,
Here, hold on.
chapter 1. Lonnie Products is a startup computer software development firm. It currently owns computer equipment worth $30,000 and has cash on hand of $20,000 contributed by Lonnie's owners. For each of the following transactions, identify the real and/or financial assets that trade hands. Are any financial assets created or destroyed in the transaction? So for A, Lonnie takes out a bank loan, it receives $50,000 in cash, and signs a note promising to pay back the loan over 3 years. So you put it's a real asset. For B, Lonnie uses the cash from the bank plus $20,000 with its own funds to finance the development of new financial planning software. So you put real assets. For C, Lonnie sells a software product to Microsoft, which will market it to the public under the Microsoft name. Lonnie accepts payment in the form of 2,500 shares of Microsoft stock, and that's financial assets. And we put created. And D, Lonnie sells the shares of stock for $50 per share and uses part of the proceeds to pay off the bank loan. So that would be under financial assets, and it would be destroyed.
Thank you. So who had, did you guys figure this one out?
Almost.
Okay, so who has chapter 4, number 8?
Yeah, that was good. So the formula is the offering price, and then 1 minus the
Hold on,
funding.
I gotta record you.
Oh.
You gotta get up there and be Carol Merrill. You gotta do the Price is Right stuff. This will go viral, so.
Oh, absolutely. So the NAV equals offering price X, and then 1 minus the front end load, so it's, net asset value equals 12.3 times 1 minus 0.05, because the 0.05 was the front end load, and then, that comes out to 11.69.
So can I trade mutual fund shares throughout the day? I can buy them. When are they priced? When are mutual fund priced? Mutual fund shares priced?
The end of the day.
Are they priced in continuous time on an exchange? No. When are they priced?
That was at the end of the day.
End of the day. End of the day. What's the difference between a front end load and a back end load? Do you care? Front end loads, back end loads? What's a front end load? Mike, you're in the business, man.
I don't know.
Front end load or
Load.
Load?
Load,
So
front load.
like you're doing a contract, the majority of the money's in the beginning and it tails off towards the end, the back end is the complete opposite.
Yeah, I'm the mutual fund sponsor. I have different load factors. I have A and C shares. I have A, front load, C are back end loaded funds. So I'm buying the mutual fund shares.
Okay.
I can buy them either with front end loads or back end loads. I can either pay the fees up front, on the front end, or I can pay the fees on the back end. So what do you want? Do you want to pay the fees up front? So your principal amount is less, and then it compounds? Or do you do a back end where the appreciation in the mutual fund share goes up over the time period, and then when you sell it, you pay basically the same fee, but on the back end? So do you want it to grow, and then you pay the fee on the larger amount? Or do you pay the fee up front on the smaller amount? Yeah, I usually buy front end loads, okay, because I want to just rip it off. I don't want to be paying a load on an appreciated value, because I'm going to pay a higher fee on the back end.
When would you back end load?
What?
When
When?
would you back end load?
Yeah, in my view, it's just a style. Some clients say, no, I don't want to pay the fees up front. I'd rather pay them on the back end and allow the money to grow. Some people like me, I just say, I want to pay the front end loan and just get it over with. I don't want to be paying fees, on a larger amount when I decide to liquidate the mutual fund in the future.
Did you go short, if you go short on?
You can't go short on mutual funds.
If you go short, can you
Nope.
wait till the ending?
No, that's why they invented exchange traded funds. Mutual funds were limited, illiquid, high fees. They only get priced at the end of the day. BlackRock basically said, what we'll do is we'll replicate a mutual fund structure. We'll turn the mutual fund shares into basically stock shares. We'll list the exchange traded fund on the exchange, and we'll be able to trade the ETF shares, just like stock shares, and now they'll be priced in continuous time. And I can go short, I can buy on margin, I can buy and write puts and calls.
Are ETFs, are they always moving? Like you said, that mutual
The
funds
share
are-
prices move every single day. Okay, where the mutual fund shares are priced at the end of the day.
And wouldn't you want a back end load on a riskier stock, so if you lost money, your fee wouldn't be as high?
Possibly. I don't know. I just would rather do front load, get it out of the way, and then just not have to worry about it on the back end on an appreciated value. Okay, did you have a question? Okay. So who's got, did you guys figure it out? Okay.
So are ETFs like active mutual funds? I mean,
Okay. Okay, hold on. If I got a mutual fund, I get two types of mutual funds, and I got two types of exchange traded funds. I got an indexed mutual fund, and I got an active portfolio mutual fund. Okay, I can index off of the S&P 500. Okay, it's all I got to do for the mutual fund is sum up the market values of all of the shares in the mutual fund, divide it back to get the weights, okay? Then basically, that's all the portfolio is weighted the same way as the market is. So it's an index, okay, so it's indexed. I can have another active mutual fund where basically there's shares that were selected based on fundamental analysis and then traded based on technical and fundamental analysis. So that's an active portfolio strategy. And their mutual funds, the fees are high and the NAVs are priced at the end of every single day. I can basically take the same portfolio styles and replicate them in an exchange traded fund and then have the shares trade on an exchange, okay? So it's just the portfolio allocation, it's the portfolio distribution, it's the portfolio diversification, it's the portfolio weights. Okay? They're both the same. The one's a mutual fund, the other's the ETF.
It's cut off at his neck.
Oh. Is that a joke or something? Dakota, are you giving him a hard time?
Is this chapter 3?
No, 2. Oh, yeah, my bad. Chapter 2, the first question. So for this one, I found the market value.
Can you did you read the problem?
No.
Yeah, why don't you read the problem, guys? And then what I would do is for these problems, just try to put some of the key assumptions so that you can tie them to the problems. And that's what, chapter 2, number 12?
Yeah.
Okay. And do you have it out?
Yeah, here it is. Well, I gotta read the 11th question first.
Okay, go for it.
Ties into that. Alright, so
Okay.
Consider the 3 stocks in the following table. P2 represents price at time T, and Q1 represents shares outstanding at time T. Stock C splits 2 for 1 in the last period, and then it kind of gives you a table of values. And so I had to find the market value weighted index for A, so I just found the market value for each sector at time T equals 0, and then did the same thing for T equals 1. And then found the return by taking T1 and dividing it by T0 minus 1, that gave me 3.85%. And then for B, I had to find a weighted index for the assets. So what I did is I just took the return on assets and got their percentages, and then got a weighted average by, oh, that's actually wrong, I should change that. By adding them all together and dividing by 3, and that gave me 1.85%, but I worked out the full equation.
So in number 11, so that's the percentage change in the index level.
Yeah.
And what you're doing there is you're basically, those are aggregate values. So it's aggregate value weighted. Okay. When you do the aggregate values, you sum it up. Now the theory behind it is this is a market capitalization weighted index. Okay. So basically the values itself are the weights. Okay. So if you put Apple in there, Apple's obviously a higher stock price, so it's going to get a higher weight in the index. Okay. So the only thing that really changes is the numerator over time. It's just the value in the stock prices, or the aggregate values. Okay. Who's got 8.6? You guys can go ahead and put yours up. You can erase that and then put yours up there.
Alright, so this one is 2 stocks, A and B, and it gives you the expected return, the beta, and the firm-specific standard deviation. And it asks, here's the standard deviations for A and B, and then the expected return is 14%, and the beta is 0.78.
And that's just a weighted average of the betas.
Yeah, yeah.
And then again, on the standard deviations, you can do the square root of the variances, or you can take it to the 1/2. Same thing. Okay, go ahead.
And then the non-systematic standard deviation of the portfolio, which is, I think, one of these.
Which one? You can look in the solutions. What, can you explain that again?
So, this is. Not sure.
No, that's the variance.
This is the variance.
And then right there,
Right.
that one's the standard deviation, the 20.12.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then, yeah. So that's all it asks for.
Okay, is that right? Can you look that up? Just checking.
Yeah, that's what it had.
Okay. Did you guys do your stuff? Okay. Okay. So why don't you guys pick two more problems, put them up on the board, make sure you didn't, you can pick any problems out of the book, okay? Out of any of the chapters, okay? Once you put them up so that you're not doing the same ones, okay? And then we'll do those next week. Okay, I'll do some, you'll do some, we'll pick more, and we'll just do problems next week. Okay, make sure that you put, when you're doing the problems, make sure you put some of the assumptions up there from the question. Okay, so you can tie the question in with the solution. Okay. Why don't we do, who's not clear on the, oh, did you have any problems you want to put?
I had 6, I'm just trying to figure out how they got it.
Okay, well, the solution's right there.
Well, I'm looking at some problems.
Are you guys ready to go? Okay.
Yeah. Great point.
That's a great point.
So who's gonna do the, who's doing the trading game in here? Because obviously the portfolio
The what?
spreadsheet that I gave you, the portfolio spreadsheet,
Yeah.
pretty straightforward. I sent you links on it, basically a dozen trading games, both stock and derivatives. Who's gonna do that? You guys gonna do it? Okay. Who else is gonna do it?
Yeah.
Okay, so you're gonna do both. You'll do my spreadsheet and then you'll do the trading game.
Oh, that's good. Yeah. The spreadsheets for the trading game.
Well, they're two separate things. I
Right.
developed the spreadsheet at first to meet the requirements that was recommended to do it. And then I've been getting feedback. It's like, why don't we do the trading games? Why don't we use so I would go up, pick a trading game that you want to trade in. And then, are you going to do derivatives or FX or equity? You can do either. You can do options, you can do stocks, you can do FX. I don't care what you trade.
In that game, you can do anything.
Yeah, there's a lot of them are just, they're just stock games. And some of them are foreign currency, some are options, some are futures contracts. So if you just, pick one, tell me which one you're doing, and then let's work together on it so we can figure out a presentation. And we could, maybe that's what we do during the quiz period. Is you guys pick a game and you start playing with it, and then you present it. You show me what game you used, you show us your results, how you built the portfolio, and then how you've done in the portfolio. So if you start it now, we should have some results within a couple weeks and see how you do. Does that sound better? Does that sound better? Have an option? And just put, you're gonna just replicate what you do? Okay, yeah, that would be great. That's what we want to see. And you already have a trading game too. So you should present yours. And you can use that during the quiz week.
Perfect.
So just update that, put a presentation together, and show us what you've been doing. Same thing with you. Show us what you've been doing.
Just took a few hits. I got hit a few times. The rate of return isn't as high as it used to be, but
Okay, so what on
do you keep everything in binders or just do it electronically?
I have a notebook at home that I write down all my trades in.
So you wanna grab a couple more problems? Put them up?
You want us to do them now?
Once you grab, go check one, maybe one or two.
Like in the solutions or whatever?
Yeah, you can pick a couple out of the book, and put them up, and then let's just do more problems today.
I don't have any more done.
So you guys can just work on them. You can just work on them together. Just pick a couple. Maybe do the one on excess returns in the portfolio. That's a good one. Yeah. Why don't you do that one?
No wonder why.
For you guys, what problems on the pre-test?
Which one do you want to? I don't care, I mean, how do we know it's not overlapping?
And I'll do that. So if there, who else is having problems on the pre-test?
I'm gonna meet with you for that.
James is.
I'm having trouble just understanding supply demand curve.
You want me to go over that right now?
I can come in to meet you.
No, but a lot of these guys don't have it either.
Okay, yeah, I'm having trouble understanding some of it.
The rest of you guys pick some problems.
Maybe it's not.
He went over it, but.
Hey, you gotta throw it.
I'll go over it again.
You gotta throw it.
Yeah, but with the.
I want another one.
Yeah.
No, we didn't do
Oh, that's
that.
mine.
Okay, you present that.
Okay, let's stop throwing the cookies in the class. Let's get some homework problems going.
And did you guys pick a problem?
Well, maybe we've done that in front of the camera. Maybe we've
No,
done
no,
that
no,
in front
before
of the
that,
camera.
this
so
is
we-
what was it, the Efficient Frontier?
Yes.
So you're from last year, I feel like.
Yep.
So that's so many times.
I'm on camera, just throw a cookie.
And then
So let's do
I got my
the,
3.
so we'll do the efficient frontier and we'll do the supply demand first, and then you guys can put up the problems. So why don't you present this first? So hold on, this is the margin.
Suck at supply demand. It doesn't make sense to me for some reason.
Okay, so this is chapter 3, problem set 9. So the question is, you are bullish on a telecom stock. The current market price is $50 per share, and you have $5,000 of your own to invest. You borrow an additional $5,000 on margin with an interest rate of 8%, and you invest $10,000 altogether in the stock. So question A, what will be the rate of return if the price of telecom stock goes up by 10% during the next year? So 10% of $50 per share, if it goes up, will be $55. So first you want to find out the gain on stock, on your stock. 200 is the amount of shares you bought, multiplied by the new price minus the old price, and you get $1,000. Then you want to figure out what your interest on your margin is. So you borrowed $5,000, the interest is 8%. When you multiply that, and you get $400. And then you can now get your net income, which is the gain on stock, $1,000, subtracted by the interest on margin, which is $400, and your income is $600. So the rate of return is your net income, $600, divided by your initial investment of $5,000, and that equals 12% rate of return. So the question B,
Good job.
how far does the price of telecom stock have to fall for you to get a margin call if the maintenance margin is 30%? So this is the formula. You have 200 shares, your 5,000, that's your equity, your initial investment, and then you want to divide it by the 200 shares, and P is the price. And then that's your maintenance margin. So you do a bunch of algebra, and then you end up.
I wanted to see the algebra.
Yeah, you want to see the algebra?
I wanted to see the algebra.
Okay.
Show me, in these problems, show me the algebra.
First you multiply both sides by 200p, right? So that removes 200p from there, and then you multiply this side by 200p. You end up with this, which is 200p minus 5,000 equals 60p. And then you want to move 200p to the other side, which you will end up with negative 5,000 is equal to 140, negative 140p. And then to get p, you just divide 5,000 by 140. And then the price, your critical price is $35.71. So if the price goes below that, you're going to get a margin call.
Exactly. Good job.
That was well done.
That was awesome.
Good stuff.
All right, so you ready to do yours?
Yeah, shit, understandable. Good time. Alfred the Silent Killer.
You guys wanna do a couple more?
On Monday, you said?
Yeah, let's do it, we'll do them on Monday. Just come with a bunch of them on Monday. And we'll just do them, we'll do them all.
I had to read like half the chapter just to understand.
What?
I had to like read like half the chapter just to
Well, it helps to read the
understand.
book.
Yeah.
Alright, so for chapter 9, number 1, you're trying to solve for the beta for your portfolio. So the numbers they give you are an expected return on your portfolio at 18%, risk-free at 6%, and expected market return at 14%. So then you use this equation right here. Expected return on your portfolio equals risk-free plus portfolio for your beta times brackets expected market return minus your risk-free. So after doing all the math, your beta is 1.5.
Okay, next time show me the math.
Okay.
Show me the algebra. Okay, Desmond, you next. And then do you have one too?
Yeah, I'm gonna write it down.
Okay, perfect.
It's a high risk free rate. Good.
Yeah, those days are long gone.
Well, this is only part of 9.9, but the first part trying to find the aggressive and defensive betas for the market return. So we have the market value bottom here, and then just the difference between the two market points, and then here's the
Okay, hold on.
yeah.
Go back. Don't present it. Well, go back, study it, and then come back and present it. Okay. All right. Did you guys pick two? Yeah. Okay. Okay. So why don't you pick a couple? Maybe pick one more, and then I'll do the. Yep.
So for the portfolio, so if we were to do, you know how you give us